Hey, this is Brad Vick, and today I'm presenting on the project I did for CS7976. And in this, I created a classic battleship game. And so my objectives of this game were to create a representation of the classic battleship game using HTML5 and JavaScript. So here I'll walk through a few screenshots. This here is the splash screen that first comes up when the game is opened. Just has the title and the option to play. And then once you play, you get the option here of placing your ships on your game board. So your inventory is on the left, your ships there in the game board. And once you place all the ships in something like this, you have the option to click play there on the bottom, which takes you right into the game mode. And so this is your control screen. This is where you'll pick where you'll try to land a shot on your opponent. And when you first come in, it'll be blank, and as you start playing, it'll look something like this. So a miss is blue. It kind of looks like blue as in the water. If you get a hit, it will turn red, and then if you sink the ship, the red blocks will have X's in them. This is what it looks like when you're looking at the view of both you and your opponent's board. So the board on the left is your board, and the board on the right is the opponent's board. So as you can see here, I've sank one ship of my opponent, and they've gotten a hit on one of mine on the left. And so the strengths of the game is pretty much that it is a functional representation of the classic battleship game. There are some pieces that I planned on putting into place. I'll talk more about those as I go into the demo that would have made it better, but it is complete, it is playable all the way through the end. So some things that I would have done differently, or had I had more time, just ran out of time on this one, is better graphics of the game. So I intended on using better graphics, like actual images of ships, maybe even having some explosion type things going on. But I learned quickly in this process that that eats up a lot of time, and so I put those off to build the actual game, hoping I'd have time in the end to come back and spruce some of that up. But as we probably all know, that time just didn't happen. Also, the AI opponent, I probably would have made it a little bit smarter. I started out with just basically the AI does a random selection for a hit of all the empty spaces. I probably would have built a little more logic in there so that maybe if it got a hit, it would continue in a line and try to sink that ship. So it's pretty easy to win this game, but that just ran out of time there. And then on the game board, I intended on having some displays at the top that would have showed your fleet, your player fleet, and the enemy fleet, all the ships. And then as you got hits and as they sank, they would kind of change color and drop off the board. And then I ran out of time in the end and didn't really get to finish the win and lose screen. So at the end of the game, if you make it to the end and you win, or if the opponent wins, it just stops. I really wanted to move on and have another screen after that popped up and said, something like you win or you lose or whatever. But again, those are the things I did not get done that I had intended on doing in this project. So lessons learned. I learned a lot about game programming and how different it is from building business applications. So I've got a lot of experience building business type applications. With those, we spend a lot of time on the back end design, the business logic, and the database logic, and a little bit less time on the front end GUI interface side. And so that was one of the struggles with this game. And probably if I had to do it over again, I would have tried to pair up with somebody who has some graphic design experience. So that's not my strong suit, and I struggle with it on this game. And then so now we'll roll into the demo of the game, just a quick demo here. So here's the intro screen, like I talked about earlier. We just click play there. We can drag and drop our ships on the board. you've got the option of flipping them, so by default they're up and down. So if I take this guy and flip him, it'll go horizontal. I can also come in and double click, that does the same thing. So this took quite a bit of time just getting the logic in here to drop those in on the grid and make sure that you can't put them on top of each other and things like that, the rules of the game there. So once we get our ships placed like we like them, we click play and we go straight in here. We click on a cell to drop a hit there. Turns blue if we miss. Maybe we can get a hit here. It'll turn red. Now we got a hit red. And if I keep following that through and finding where that ship is, looks like it's going up. We'll keep going that route, and we sank that ship there. So here's where I would like to have had some more layout up here, where you actually saw the ships up here and which ones were active, which ones have been sank, those types of things. So we got lucky, got another hit here. And as you can see on the opponent side, as it's placing his hit, they're just random. So there, he got a hit. You know, ideally the program would have been smart enough to follow that through until it sank it. But again, just didn't get half time there. So that's kind of how it is, and we could keep playing it. Probably take 3 or 4 minutes to play out a game. And again, in the end, it just kind of stops where it is when the game is over. No notifications or anything there. But I'm pretty proud of it. It was a lot of work to get this part done. Again, had I had maybe another week or so, could have put in some of the other enhancements and spent some time on making it a little more pretty. But I am proud that it is functioning and you can play it. Just has a few pieces that I wanted to put in there that I didn't get done. So appreciate your time watching the video. Thank you.